The Propcast on the SGPN Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Their company customers play just $5 at $100 a month funds. Use promo code SGPN.
And Peggy the shot to Brown downfield. He gets the catch, and he gets in for the touchdown. The catch is made by Calvin Ridley. Wilson, as he throws deep.
And welcome, everyone, to the Propcast here on the SGPN Podcast Network. Currently Monday morning, November 17th, around 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm Rose Scott Show. Once again, joined by Ben Bros. We're together going to break down our thoughts for the Monday night game between the Cowboys and the Raiders. Yeah, the NFL knows how to pick their games. Not the game you probably wanted for Monday Night Football, but either way, might be a bunch of points. We'll see what happens, but both these teams are not very good. Adam, your team played on Sunday night. Speaking of, well, I'll put it this way, good teams. You had the Eagles against the Lions, and the game kind of sucked, but your team won, and you had a parlay. So how do you feel?
I feel good, but I was going to ask you this question. The 5 teams have the most wins right now. Rams, Seahawks, Eagles, Broncos, Pats.
Yeah.
Let's assume we both agree the Colts or whatever. Those 5. Would you say that those 5 are the 5 best teams in the NFL?
No.
Really? Who's not on that list that should be there?
Look, I'm going to have to think of which team. First of all, I got to think of which team I would not include out of those 5. I know Denver just beat Kansas City, but I still don't think Denver's that good. As much of a hater as that makes me sound. But
I know. I mean, the thing is that like, while they don't win, they're not winning pretty. Like, what does Denver have to do for that?
No,
like,
I get it. Like they are winning. I'll point that out. But damn, I hate watching them play football.
Yeah, I don't like watching the Eagles play football, and they're winning.
That's true too. Yeah. No, you make a good point.
I guess like we're at the point in the season where it's like I would look. I was in the same boat as you, but like Denver then beating the Chiefs, I was like, well, then who? I mean, I'm not saying any of these teams are winning Super Bowl, but I'm just saying I think it is a fair thing to say that the teams that have the most wins right now have the most wins because they've performed the best. Like if you went into their schedules and looked at who they played, like Eagles own the tiebreaker against every fucking good team in the NFC. Broncos have beaten everybody in their division and they beat the best in the NFC. Rams, same thing. Seahawks, I would argue same thing. Like I think like Pats is the weakest, but the Pats look great. Like it's not, like the Pats are Drake May, Stephon Diggs, Trayvon Henderson, and a bunch of NPCs.
I mean, those are clearly the weakest too, though. It's the Broncos and the Patriots out of the teams you listed. So the question is, do you think either of them can get upset by any other team in the playoffs?
Oh yeah, like because in one and done, I think so. I just think, is there a team that is not in those 5 that we think deserves to be that their win-loss record, I guess, does not reflect how great they are?
Well, look, I know that the obvious answer people will go with is the Chiefs because they're still one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl. But if you're 5-5, I'm not picking you.
I don't think I can say that anymore.
Just how it goes.
Our future attached to that is dead, and I'm just like, I don't think so.
And they sucked last night, but the question is, would I pick the Broncos to actually beat the Lions in a hypothetical matchup? And I don't think I would, but I recognize the Lions with Goff don't look that great this season. Like, do I think the Lions are better?
It's totally different because the Chiefs just look disinterested.
Yeah. Like, once again, you're asking me this hypothetical. I think I would pick the Lions to beat the Broncos in a potential, like, hypothetical matchup.
Okay. So what we had to be in the year. What we had to be in the year.
But look, I understand.
Hey, if the Broncos get to the Super Bowl, you and I get paid. We have them across the board.
Look, at the end of the day, the Broncos are 9-2, and whether they actually, live up to the record or whether they're overrated really doesn't matter to me in the grand scheme of things because, once again, we get paid if they make a deep run anyway, and if not, then I could handle being wrong about a team. Like, it's not the end of the world.
I guess I'm more looking. Is there a team that's not on there that we're like, this team is really, really good and their record doesn't reflect that?
Well, I'm going to ask, do you think the Lions in that NFC North are actually good? Because you watched them yesterday and Goff looked terrific. But I want to ask you, do you think that team is actually like very solid or do you think that they're overrated?
I think that team looked really bad against the Vikings too at home. I can't use injuries.
Well, they lost to JJ McCarthy, so that is not the sign you're looking for.
Right. It wasn't close either.
Well, they didn't lose to McCarthy. They lost to 9. So, it's a little different.
Fucking loser. Yeah, I don't know. I think that I would put the Rams and the Seahawks ahead of the Lions. I would put the Rams for sure. I would put the Rams ahead of the Lions.
I think that the NFC West showdown yesterday went the way that I thought it would, which was a close game. Rams are slightly better, and they won the game.
I mean, the Seahawks Rams own Darnold, like he's just footsteps on that team. But like the second half,
even though Darnold,
they were fantastic in the second half.
Yeah, even though Darnold was not very good, the game was still very close. But I think the Rams are my pick to win the NFC. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I would take that. They'd probably have to go to Philly.
Either way, once again, not trying to show disrespect to the Broncos or Patriots. If you end up winning, who cares what my thoughts are on your team? Just keep winning, and I'm sure you'll feel fine. But either way,
I think though, let's close this with this. Can we both agree the Chiefs and Bills ain't it?
The Bills are definitely not it. The Bills are not. The Chiefs are always going to
covered on all my alts though yesterday.
I know. I mean, that comes down to the fact that Tampa's defense just completely fell apart in the second half. But yeah, look, it's tough to fully eliminate the Chiefs until you see the Chiefs dead on the floor, because we've seen them find ways so many times to survive. Buffalo's got no chance. Like, I don't care what anybody says about Josh Allen being great. I get that. The Bills have no chance at all because the receiving core is not very good. The defense is not very good. And from what I've seen for the last couple of years, which we've talked about every time, McDermott, I don't think is that good. So at least the Chiefs have Andy Reid, and they have won titles before. Buffalo, out of all the years they failed in the postseason, they've had better rosters than this. Do we agree on that?
Yeah.
So I'm not.
And they're also they hadn't played. They were younger and stuff like that. I mean, look, the Bills. I don't think this Bills team's good.
No. The Chiefs, I might keep, just until they actually die because of PTSD. I just can't write this team off prematurely. The Bills, you can write off prematurely every year, and you're pretty much right every time. So there you go. Either way, though, a couple of good games yesterday, and we'll move on into the games the one game for Monday. Before we get into the actual game, though, a reminder that you can check out every episode of every show on SGPN for one convenient feed or on one convenient feed. Search SGPN on your favorite podcast app, Spotify or Apple. Subscribe for free today to find every episode for every show on the network in one easy, free location. So moving on to the Cowboys-Raiders game for Monday Night Football. Starting off, though, with the props that we have for the game today. Adam, I'll let you go first. What's going to be your first player prop?
Well, my first one was stolen by Sean Patrick Green on last night's pod, but I want people to know.
At a clarification, did you tell him the play before he took it, or did he just happen to have the same play?
I will read our conversation. I'm glad that I will read our conversation on air.
He has receipts.
I absolutely have receipts on this one. Any props you like.
Okay.
All right. And then I said, well, something I'll say in a little bit that you and I debated is appropriate for the pod, but given the Dean Kramer cap, I think it's a light version of it will be appropriate. I said Bowers' race to 20 yards is interesting. And he said, oh yeah. And then I said, but better is Trey Tucker plus 720 race to 20 yards. I'm looking at his air yards and do that. And then he says, I like that, and lock it. And then he took it and he gave it out. I am also on these, but I actually have the stats on why I like this. So since week 6, Trey Tucker is third on the team in percentage of air yards. He has 22% of those air yards. Meyer and Brock both have 25%. There is kind of like a whole mess of who the receivers are for if it's not Brock Bowers. But for him to get to 20 yards, his longest reception is also 21.5. We also know, we'll probably talk about it a little bit, that the Cowboys' extended defense is not great. But what I do want is I want to lean on guys with air yards because that is something that they are really bad at giving up. So I would rather at plus 720 throw a quarter of a unit on Trey Tucker to be the first to get 20 yards in this game. I think that that's just kind of a crazy price for a guy who's used in that situation.
Yeah, it might be one catch because he tends to be a big play receiver and he's against a secondary that stinks. So I can get behind that. But it's a good price. Said it was.
I did that, and I also did the 25 on Lockett, but Tucker's the one I really like here.
Yeah, and you said it was 720?
720.
Okay, cool. So for my first play, I'm going to go relatively chalky. The last time the Cowboys played on Monday Night Football against the Cardinals, I had this play, ended up winning. I'll go back to it. Give me George Pickens receiving yards at 64.5 at -114. Pickens has had at least 68 yards in 7 of his last 8 games, and the Raiders, we know defensively, not very good. They're technically better than Dallas against the pass. Not saying much. They're still not very good. The Raiders are allowing the 8th most receiving yards per game to opposing wide receivers. I think Pickens has a good matchup in general. Of course, we know the game's in a dome, so weather's not going to be a factor. I think Pickens can get a couple of decently long plays or even a bomb, and that could definitely help him out. But based on the hit rate and based on the number and the secondary, Pickens should be higher than 64.5. Give me the over on his receiving yards at -114. So that's where I'll start. I'm assuming you're fine with it because the Raiders' secondary is not very good.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. Well, I do want to ask you about game script, by the way. I know a lot of people want to just pick overs.
Are you teeing up? Are you teeing up my thing?
I could be. I don't know which order you want it to go with, but
we can do it. Let's go. Want to get right into it?
Well, I was going to segue you into it. So a lot of people like overs because both these defenses stink, and once again, no weather actual element to this game. What are you picking for a script in this game?
I'm picking a slow start and a unique under. And the reason why I'm doing that is because this is the first game for the Dallas Cowboys after Marshawn Nealon died. And while it's not a home game, it's still going to be a little bit of a heavier game. It just is. That's just naturally how it happens, especially if your teammate kills himself. Yeah. So that is the game script I have for this game is a first quarter under, because I'm sure that they will do a team prayer or something in the locker room before they go in. And there are specific reasons why I like, and we'll do it in the underdog, why we'll have Dak Prescott Q1 under yards, probably just his closeness to people that have passed away over the last few years, and this probably bringing up some reminders. So that is why I have that. So a little bit dark, but that's also how I'm looking at it. I have another, I have a team prop that is very similar to this on what I'm looking at for tonight for this under on this. But it's I kind of see I see the game. I'm not a big fan of the Geno Smith experience, and I just think that the Dallas Cowboys have been thinking about a lot of things the last week and a half.
No. Okay. So are you picking the Cowboys to win the game then based on the actual?
I have the Cowboys to win the game, but I have this as a closer to like a 17-10 game than I do than a barn burner. And like I see Joe pointing out, Vegas's defense is decent. I think that is true. Dallas, we could say like their defense is awful, but keep in mind they're off a bye, and generally teams kind of fix and retool some things.
You have extra prep time. They also got Overshawn back. They got a couple of guys back.
Yeah, they got a lot of guys back.
Defense, but
it's just so they're both actually there's areas, and since week 5 they've actually been there's been Dallas has had really bad games on stuff, and then they've been okay. They also generally take care of teams that are not great, which the Raiders are not great. So anyway, should I go into my next I can go to my next prop here because of that.
No, sure. You can take it.
Okay. Well, then it is.
This is your second prop, right?
This is my second prop. Yeah, okay. So my second prop is going to be Geno Smith under 232 passing yards because of this. Okay, so that's a high number. So he's under first of all in 6 of 9 games this year. Period. So that's just full stop. He's done that a majority of the time. He's under in 3 of 4 home games. And he actually doesn't do very well against bad defenses. He's under in 4 of his last 6 over the last 2 seasons against bottom half defenses, under in 2 of his last 3 against bottom quarter defenses, which Dallas rates as. Also, he's been getting banged up. He's been getting hurt. He's been his last 2 games. He left for a little bit, and they're kind of itching to give Kenny Pickett some time. And it looks like Geno's getting close to being benched in that regard, but I think that there's a couple ways that it gets there. So gonna go with also a primetime game. When was the last primetime game that we saw that was a barn burner? It was like 3 weeks ago, right? So
for Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football?
For any of them.
We've had some close games on Sunday night. The Monday ones haven't been very good.
No, right, but I'm talking about offensively.
Oh, offensively?
Yeah, points-wise.
Yeah, I was going to say both teams showing up has not really happened that often.
Yeah, it hasn't happened in like 3 weeks. So, anyway, Geno Smith under 232 passing yards.
All right. Cool. I'll get into my Geno thoughts in a second because I have a play on Geno too. Before we get into my second prop for the show, reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor, Novig. So if you do like getting some great prices, check out Novig because they are the number one prediction market for sports in America. Get some reduced juiced prices, so check it out. Available in 30 couple states. Make sure it's available in your state. And a reminder, download the app when you do so. Get a nice deal with us when you sign up. Get $50 when you spend just $5 if use our code SGPN and actually Novig promo code SGPN. We're also brought to Underdog Fantasy. So if you like pick 'em entries, chance to win 5,000 times your entry. You can pick higher or lower on player stats. Different sports you can mix and match with basketball, with the NFL, with the NHL, with UFC, even college sports. So check out Underdog. A lot of options for you for your entries. Also, a new offer for the customers. Play just $5 and $100 bonus funds. Use promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the Propcast. Finished going through our first couple props for the show. Time to go into my second prop for Monday Night Football. I'm going with Geno Smith, but it's going to be a predictable play, courtesy of Novig. They had a great price for it. I'll take it. Give me Geno Smith interception at minus 130. We know Geno Smith has been a turnover machine so far this season, and I'm going to back it once again. He's had at least one pick in 7 of his first 9 games this season. He's been incredibly bad at home. He's had, and in 4 home games, he's had 8 interceptions. 8. He stinks. Now, I understand the Cowboys' defense is not great at forcing interceptions. I get that. But sometimes the power of the quarterback is too much. For example, J.J. McCarthy, I don't care if he's facing off against a college defense. I bet him to throw an interception. Geno Smith, same boat. Guy throws the balls to the wrong team all the time. Minus 130 is a good price. Novik had 130. I think every other book had minus 145. I'll take advantage of the price differential. Give me Geno Smith pick at minus 130. So you like his passing yards unders, which means
correlated all the same stuff.
Have the ball. So there we go.
If he gets the passing yards under and he gets the INT, he's got probably benched.
Yeah, and Dallas is probably once again getting a stop or two. But yeah, once again, I'm not really backing Dallas's defense. I'm mainly picking Geno Smith to be an idiot for about 40 seconds.
Yeah,
that's all I need. I need one play to go in my way. That's it.
Yeah, for me, it's also just like I'm not a big believer in the Raiders. The Raiders' offense hasn't looked good all year.
No, and also worth mentioning, the Cowboys' run defense has not been good either, so Genti could have a monster game, and that takes the pressure off anyway.
He could. I mean, Genti just doesn't seem like he's able to identify holes really well. I think Genti's going to turn out to be kind of a bust.
There's a couple of scripts out there where Geno, and the Raiders could even hypothetically win, where Geno actually does not have to do that much through the air if the Cowboys' run defense is just that bad. Yeah. There are a couple of scripts there. I'm not going to call Genti a bust, by the way. The issue is the Raiders are really a fundamentally unsound team.
Yeah.
And they tried to fix it by drafting a running back with a top.
Well, they drafted a cornerstone piece. It's just kind of weird because Geno's not the quarterback for them, you know?
No, but people argue that, running backs are the most expendable position in the league because, for example, they don't fix the issues you have with your current roster. And this roster and 95-year-old Pete Carroll are not going to save your franchise. And
they should have gone. They should have traded back and gone O-line.
Yeah, but either way, point is, I think Genti's still solid, but with this offensive line, with this system, and with the supporting cast around them, they could have made a better pick. That's all I'm saying. It's not a great fit. But either way, moving on to your third prop. What do you like?
Okay, my third one. We'll save this other one for miscellaneous. My third one is, I'm going to go with Jake Ferguson under 6.5 first quarter receiving yards, minus 113. He's under in all but 2 games this year. 5 straight without hitting this. And the Raiders have held 3 of their last 4 opponents' tight ends under in the first quarter. Again, I mentioned that I think that this might start a little slower for some emotional reasons on the Dallas end. And so I think that there's also, plenty of other options that are in there, but this hasn't really happened for Ferguson, and I'm going to continue to bet that it doesn't. So Jake Ferguson under 6.5 Q1 receiving yards, minus 113.
Yeah, it seems like he's been a bit of a slow starter lately. They also give some reps to Schoonmaker sometimes, so we'll see if Ferguson ends up maybe doing nothing early, and then he'll wake up as the game goes on. But the hit rate speaks for itself. He said it happened in 5 straight, so I think that definitely could be a very sharp angle for the first quarter. Moving on to my final play, I'm going to go with the Cowboys running backs. I'm going to go with Javonte Williams. Longest catch, under 8.5 yards at -115. Not really doing much through the air, at least to the running backs is Dak. But Williams has gone under this number in 4 of his 5 road games this season, and he's gone under regularly recently. Plus, the Raiders might not be great defensively. You could argue that they're fine, but they are good at not letting running backs kill them in the passing game. The Raiders are allowing the 6th fewest receiving yards to opposing running backs per game. So Javonte might not get many catches in general. If he does, tends to be a check down or 2. But either way, the number seems a bit high at 8.5. He might have a catch for 7. Might be a bit of a sweat there. They're going to be yelling at the TV for a tackle. I'm fine with that. The 8.5 is too high. I like the price. Give me Javonte, longest catch under 8.5 yards at -115. So that's my final play for the game. Anything else you want to add for miscellaneous?
Yeah, I love miscellaneous. I also want to say one more thing because I was thinking about it with JJ McCarthy, and you know, I know people see this stuff a lot of like, oh, I don't want that. I want to have his.
It's on 9 McCarthy.
9
Gotta show
McCarthy.
some respect.
I mean, here's the thing, guys.
That's so lame, by the way. That is so
It's
lame.
super lame. Here's the thing is that part of sometimes doing some of the, generally speaking, a lot of the times on a lot of bets, taking stuff that's stinky and scary is actually going to be like pretty profitable. It's why freaking every week I'm on like the Vikings or I'm on the Falcons or some of these other
Well, you
teams.
mentioned Geno Smith as well. A reminder that he was like crawling around on the floor last week.
That's my entire cap is that I think Geno's hurt. Yeah. And I think that they're looking to like.
I'm just saying, is there a chance he doesn't finish the game on a run?
That's exactly why.
That's possible.
That's exactly why I completely agree. But you know, like for an example, I don't like JJ McCarthy, but part of that game yesterday, and maybe I should have said this at the top, Bears should have been up by like 15, 30 points or whatever, and they weren't.
The fact they were actually losing that game in the final minute is embarrassing.
Right. But, and so, you know, like I ended up being 2-2-1 in Circa. I had them. I'm going to be, by the way, on the Vikings again this week against the Packers, who I think are not a good team. And the biggest thing that I recommend that everybody looks at is look at teams or players that looked terrible the week before and then figure out, well, like nobody wants this. How can I find a way to do that? That's going to generally be profitable for most betting in the NFL. Doesn't really apply as well to NBA because the usage and stuff changes things. Like a guy can have a bad game, you have variance, but for NFL, the markets are kind of built that way. My miscellaneous prop, neither team to 30 points plus 107.
Okay. That's nice.
So high total. I think this is a nice creative way to play an under on there. Raiders have allowed 30 points to the Jags at home, but that was in OT. Otherwise, they've only allowed over 29.5 points 4 times over the last 2 years at home. Dallas has only allowed 30 or more to bottom half opponents twice in the last 2 seasons. It's spanning 6 games. So even when Dallas gets to bad opponents, they're not letting them score and they're not able to kind of put it up like that. Like we said, there's a little bit. It's also a Monday night game. This is just kind of not the barn burner, but this is I actually almost like sliding on this.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Well, how low would you go on this?
20. Why not? I mean, I look at the odds, but better than even money for neither team to get to 30. This is like a tried and true bet that you and I loved in baseball. Yeah. And I think it's a good one for tonight.
Yeah, once again, I think the 30 is a great price. I mean, my score prediction for me was around 24-20 was kind of the score that I had in my mind.
Let me see what the odds are for neither team to 25.
I was kind of thinking somewhere around there, but
hold on, let me look.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll probably have like a tackle prop in here.
That's fine.
I'll do that later. NFL doing this. Okay, so game props. They have an octopus. Race to. Here it is. Race to 25 points. Neither is plus 250.
Good price.
Yeah.
It's a good price. So, I mean, my score is going to be a sweat and a half at 24-20, but that's kind of the thought that I had for this game.
Whatever. I mean, the best stuff is.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Dude, it's plus 860 for neither team to get to 20.
I mean, I think one team will get to 20, but at 8 and change, sure. You could throw with
Wait,
something.
why would we not? This is,
That's fun.
hold on. Let's look at the last, can we look at the, let's look at the last couple of primetime games. Monday, let's see.
Are you including Thursday or no?
Well, let me just look at Monday Night Football ones.
Okay.
Okay, so we last week 10-7, the week before 27-17, the week before that 28-7, 27-19, 24-9.
Point is one team usually gets into the high 20s, the other team doesn't show up.
Right. Okay, so but I'm trying to think if there's a time where we're gonna want to do this. It's not. I don't think this is the game, but just something to keep in the back of our mind. Well, actually, you know, it'd be great to do this in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Good call.
You get bonus points for outdoor football for some of those. So either way, I can get behind this. Definitely think it's a fun angle. The 25 at 250, I think, so a lot of fun. So
yeah, we could. You and I will probably want to do that in a parlay.
That's fine.
Pick somebody in the NBA tonight for like a double-double. Let's do a double-double in that. Yeah.
I'm actually a bit annoyed, though, because yesterday, speaking of double-doubles, I ended up going to a wedding. So I had a couple of guys I was targeting, but I didn't have time to bet anything. And De'Aaron Fox was like 650, and that hurt. That hurt a little bit.
Womp womp.
I wanted Cornette because I knew Wemby might not play, but nobody offered Cornette, so I couldn't take Cornette, which is unfortunate. But either way, I see a question from IG about Dak longest completion under.
Pretty far. I don't hate it. The thing is that from an air yards perspective, like I don't know if I just want to look at one thing: efficiency, tendencies. Here it is. Is this explosive pass plays? So since I've been doing since week 5 because I think that covers a good amount of the season. Raiders are actually like top 3 in preventing. So I like that a lot. I think I may do that with you.
I just killed the bug in the meantime. So
good.
What a win.
Raiders since week 5 have given up the 5th fewest percentage of explosive pass plays. It's pass plays of 20 yards or more. And they have the 3rd fewest explosive pass plays altogether. And their air yard, their deep passing, their ADOT, their 20-yard completion percentage is top 10. I like this a lot. That's all. This is a good look. IG. I think
I know you've given this out in the past, so.
Oh, I have. Have I? Or him?
Yeah.
Have I? He has?
You.
Oh.
My co-host for the show has given this out.
Oh, yeah, dude. They have a low ADOT. I think we want this. I think we want this play. Let's do it.
I forgot the game. It was against Arizona, I think we had this.
Oh, yeah.
On the other Monday night game.
Yeah. That was another one. 40's far, dude. I can do that. Okay, I'm going to do that right now. Let's see. Dak Prescott. Well, wait. Where are you getting under 39?
That's what IG said.
He's lying.
I
see under 30. I see under 37.
Unless ESPN went rogue or something and posted a.
I see under 37. Bo Nix did this. He had 43. Patrick Mahomes had 44. Cam Ward 23.
Yeah, so I only see 39.5 too. So yeah, IG. I can't back you up there, but I'll ask you in general. Do you still like it at 37.5? Yeah,
I think so.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I do. I just want to check one thing. Dak Prescott. Locket reception ladder. I see a lot of people on that, which has me turned off of it, to be totally fair.
Okay. Fair enough.
You guys know me by now that if everybody's on something, I am generally. Oh, I see 39.5 is minus 140. So no, that's not. Yeah, I mean the minus 37.5 is I see minus 110, and then if we look at on the Raiders, yeah, most of the time. So only two out of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 out of the last 7 have gone over it. It was Bo Nix and Patrick Mahomes, and both those games were road games. Right. I like this. I like this play a lot. Let's see how he has done against. It's against bottom quartile opponents. Dak hasn't done it. Let's do this. We're going to take this one. Good call out, IG.
Cool. Anything else you want to mention, or should we just move on?
You can just move on.
Cool. That's going to wrap it up for our plays and the bonus plays for the Monday night game. Time to move on into our best bets and, of course, the underdog entry. Before we get into that, though, a reminder, they're brought to you by Rhythm. They're crushing in college football, the NFL, and now they just added the NBA. Rhythm's giving away cash prize every week. Just tracking your bets in the app. And they are doing very easy to actually get involved in the giveaway. Track 5 bets of the same type amount that they built, and you can win $1K. And of course, we know Rhythm, of course, has a lot of very sharp NFL props. We mentioned in the last episode Mariota passing yards, which ended up getting there against the Dolphins in a very disgusting game. Still cash, made some money. Adam, what is one Rhythm play they like for the game tonight?
Well, let me look. Right now, I just want to give a shout, though, to IG on helping us find that one, because I constantly – and reminding me that I constantly give it out. Let's do this. Hold on one second. There's that. All right. So, by the way, players have to decide on qualifying offers by the end of the day today, which will be very good for our podcast. Mm-hmm. We are doing a free agent draft later. All right. So they have, well, they don't like yours. Their biggest play that they have here, they say, I know the guys gave it on the show, but Brock Bowers under 16.5 receptions. They got Jake Ferguson under 4.5 receptions, which I think is a nice pivot here. From watching it, I like Jake Ferguson. It's just that
he's kind of cool.
They really like Pickens, and they really like Lamb. Lamb's 6.5 receptions. That's so high.
I mean, I get it, but yeah.
How about there's Michael Mayer, 27.5 under. Gino to not throw a pick. What do you think? Well, I think we should go with this Jake Ferguson. We can just all out fade on Jake Ferguson.
You have the first quarter under receiving yards, so we already are kind of fading him to some degree. That's fine.
Yeah, I could do this.
All right, let's do it.
Under -108. Let's do it. Okay, so Jake Ferguson under 4.5 receptions, -108. That's our Rhythm play.
Cool. A reminder as well, before we officially end the ad read, we have a nice promo code with Rhythm. So if you use the code SGPN25, we download the app, you can get a quarter first month. Download Rhythm, once again, promo code SGPN25 for a quarter off your first month. Welcome back, everyone, to the Propcast. Finish going through our 3 favorite plays each for the Monday night game. Time to go on into the best bets. Adam, what is your favorite play out of the 3 you gave out?
Probably the Ferguson first quarter under.
Cool. My best bet's going to be the George Pickens at over 64.5 receiving yards. No reason to go against it. I mean, he goes over almost every game, and I do think that he can have a solid performance in a couple of ways. Long catch, couple of decently long catches. Either way, Pickens is pretty consistent, and we are a bit lower on Ferguson tonight, so that does open the door for Lamb and Pickens to feast. So give me Pickens to go over his receiving yards as my best bet. Moving on to Underdog. Do you want to recycle the Ferguson plays or play?
So I think we should take Ferguson and Underdog. That we'll take that as a Rhythm play. All right.
Okay.
So we don't need to add. We won't add another straight, but we'll add it here. I told you I like that Dak Q1 under.
That's fine. We can take that.
Okay. And what else do you want to do? Do you want to do the Geno pick?
Well, apparently Rhythm didn't like it, so we can stay away from that.
Okay.
It's fine.
What do you want?
I'm trying to think of if there's anybody that we were interested in. Do you want to do the Dak longest lower?
Nah, we already have the under. It's going to kind of tank the odds. Is there somebody we want an over? We want to pick a guy that we like the over on. We want to take do we like Tucker?
I'm fine with Tucker.
Why don't we do Tucker? Do you want to do a Tucker longest, or do you want to do a Tucker? Wait, we can ask. You want to do fantasy score?
That works.
I don't know how it's calculated, but it's
we've been good on fantasy scores in the past.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so Dak Prescott lower 59.5 first quarter passing yards. Jake Ferguson lower 4.5 receptions. That's a Rhythm play. And Trey Tucker higher 8.85 fantasy points.
Cool.
5.71 multiplier.
All right, cool.
I just applied
do we have a boost for that, or
I made one so that it's like a billion. It's like it's It's like $50 to win 379, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Perfect. So that's fine with me.
Aubrey's field goals is minus 200 for the 1.5, by the way.
It is in every game. So if you like Aubrey, maybe consider the longest or something. But like,
I looked at that, but he hasn't. Other than when he's gone really long. I thought about it. He has, but he like his Arizona game, like it was like 27.
Yeah, because they didn't do much, and then of course he attempted one from like 67, 68, and he shanked it.
Right.
So either way, yeah. Point is, you gotta get creative with Aubrey because he's gonna be minus 200 every game to make 2. So yeah, you gotta get a bit bolder. Besides just taking that, but either way, before we officially end the show, Adam, can you just run through your 3 plays once again?
Yeah. Okay. So my main plays are Jake Ferguson under 6.5 Q1 receiving yards, Geno Smith under 232 passing yards, and Trey Tucker first to 20 receiving yards plus 720.
And also throw in a race to 30 neither for you at plus 107?
Yeah. My other ones, it's a race to 30 neither.
Yeah.
At plus 107. I see Joe minus 155. Yeah. Congrats. I mean, that's just it's a little too much juice for me to pay on what I don't expect to be a massive field goal thing. I mean, maybe do the alt or something, but
yeah,
I'm a little more juice averse on that.
Yeah.
Once it gets past 140, I'm a little.
That's kind of how I feel. It's usually my cutoff too for those props. So for my 3 bets for the show, I got George Pickens over 64.5 receiving yards at minus 114. Javonte Williams longest catch under 8.5 yards minus 115. And Geno Smith interception at minus 130. Anyway, it's going to wrap it up for the show. Back once again on Thursday to get into the NBA, NHL stuff. Till next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye, everyone.